Have you ever been in a conversation and felt like something wasn't real? Not obviously fake, not something you can prove, but something felt off. The tone didn't match the words. The reaction felt forced. The energy wasn't genuine. And while everyone else just kept talking like nothing happened, you felt it instantly. And then you start thinking, why can't I just go along with it? What if I told you the reason you can't fake conversations is because your brain refuses to ignore what it sees? Stay with me, because this might explain why some interactions feel exhausting and why you can't pretend like everyone else does. Let's start with something most people never admit. 1. You feel when someone isn't being real. You don't need proof. You don't need explanation. You just know. Something in the way they speak doesn't match what they feel, and your brain catches it immediately. 2. You can't force interest. When a conversation feels empty, your mind disconnects. You try to stay engaged. You try to respond normally, but inside, you already checked out. Because your brain needs depth, not surface-level noise. 3. You notice scripted behavior, repeated phrases, predictable reactions, social masks. You see how people act depending on who they're around. And once you notice that, conversations stop feeling natural. 4. You read intention behind words, not just what someone says, but why they say it. Are they trying to impress, control, avoid something? Your brain looks for purpose behind communication, not just content. 5. You struggle to pretend. You can't fake reactions. You can't fake interest for long. You can't act like something is meaningful when it isn't. And because of that, people sometimes think you're distant. But in reality, you're just honest. 6. You feel uncomfortable in forced interactions. Small talk, fake enthusiasm, polite conversations with no meaning. It drains you. Not because you hate people, but because your brain knows there's nothing real happening. 7. You notice inconsistencies in personality. Someone acts one way, then completely different in another situation, and your brain flags it instantly. Which version is real? Which one is the mask? 8. You process conversations deeper than others. While people move on quickly, your brain is still analyzing. What was real? What wasn't? What did they mean? And that's why conversations don't feel light to you. 9. You feel alone in conversations, even when you're surrounded by people, because while others are just talking, you're seeing everything behind it, and that creates distance. And now, number 10, the real reason you can't fake conversations. Your brain values truth over comfort. Most people prioritize social flow, keeping things smooth, easy, acceptable. You don't. You prioritize what's real, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it makes things harder, even if it separates you from others. Because once you see through the surface, you can't go back. And here's the part most people will never understand. This isn't a weakness, it's awareness. But awareness breaks illusions, because conversations are often built on politeness, social roles, and unspoken expectations. And your brain sees through all of it. That's why you can't fake it, because your mind doesn't accept what isn't real. But here's the truth. You don't need to become like everyone else. You don't need to learn how to fake it. You need to learn where to invest your energy, because the same mind that rejects fake conversations is the same mind that can build real connections, understand people deeply, and communicate with precision. You're not bad at socializing, you're selective. And once you accept that, everything changes. Because instead of forcing yourself into empty conversations, you start finding the ones that actually matter. So if you've ever felt like you can't fake interactions, like something always feels off, like you don't fit into normal conversations, maybe you're not the problem. Maybe you just see through what others choose to ignore. And once you understand that, you stop trying to fit in and start choosing where you belong. If this felt too accurate, you already know why.